Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your Vedic astrology coach, Rajat Kapoor, and welcome to my channel, The Legit Astrologer. This is about June 2025 monthly transit predictions, the transit updates. Let us begin with Aries ascendant signs or the Aries moon signs to understand how the month of June is going to have an impact on you. At the physical level, you must read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental level, you can read this from your moon sign. I'm going to give you the most precise, crisp transit updates, the most important updates, what you can expect, what are some of the energies, certain remedies, the highs and lows of the month. June, I call this a month of new beginnings because we've recently had three major transits, the transit of Saturn, Jupiter, Rahu, and Ketu. And how this month is going to be, which is new beginnings. That is what the theme is. Let us begin with your ascendant lord, lord of the ascendant Mars or Mangal. Mars has been moving in its debilitated state for a long period of time. Now it is entering your fifth house. So your ascendant lord has entered your fifth house where it will be conjoined Ketu. In the month of June, I do not expect them to have like a deep conjunction. There will be some impact, yes, in July, but throughout this month, there is a significant difference in terms of degrees which they have. Mars is giving you a yoga. It is in the fiery sign of Leo. So this is a very good month to do any sort of future planning. It is also giving you a wealth yoga. It supports wealth by your own efforts. It supports your education. It supports anything and everything that you will do for your future. For your children, it could be progressive. Yes, July, there will be certain challenges when it comes to decision making, but June is a very good time to make some key decisions. However, the first half of the month, your ascendant, though it has Venus making a transit, Venus will be entering your ascendant, it's your seventh lord. So, of course, it will foster your personality. It will bring in a good relationship with your spouse in case you're looking forward to having a new partner. This could be a probable time, this could be a good time. But the first half of the month, your ascendant is in Pap Yoga because there is Sun on one side, there is Saturn on the other side. Two natural malefics. So decision making could be a little bit challenging first 15 days. 15th of June, Sun moves in your third house. And this is also an important transit for you because Sun becomes your fifth lord. So, your fifth lord for the first half of making a transit in Taurus in the second house. Momentarily, it will be conjoined Mercury. Mercury is making three transits. First 5 days it is in Taurus, then it is moving to Gemini. Most of the time it will stay in Gemini till 22nd of June, and then last week it will move to Cancer. So Sun will be more or less alone here, which gives you a good potential to improve your finances, to look at some long-term investment or saving related decision. You have to be very careful of your speech, what you say. The first half of the month, you need to keep yourself hydrated because there's a increased fiery energies. Sun is making a transit in your second house. Mars is making a transit in your fifth house, which is associated to your stomach. So you need to balance these fiery energies by drinking enough water or consuming liquids. Thereafter, second half of the month, Sun is going to enter your third house along with Jupiter and with Mercury, forming a three planetary conjunction here. Two of these three planets are benefics for you, fifth lord Sun, ninth lord Jupiter, forming a beautiful yoga in Gemini. Sun and Jupiter form a royal lineage or a royal connection. This is the time when you can expect favors from the authority, favors from senior. This is activating your 3 and 9 axis. So anything new that you start, second half of the month is quite a favorable time because your ascendant will be free from this Pap Yoga. Sun and Jupiter will be forming a conjunction in the third house. So Jupiter is getting some strength by the virtue of Sun being there. Perfect time for new beginnings. Any short journeys, spiritual journeys, even long distance travel could be fruitful for you. You must journal, write down, pen down your thoughts. Anything that uses your hands, you must do that. See, Sun is the significator of initiation. It is making a transit in the house of change. So you would need to deal with some paperwork, some new beginnings, some new initiatives. And this is what where you will spend most of your energies. Jupiter, who's your ninth lord and the 12th lord, is made has made a transit in your third house in Gemini. And this is the beginning. Now, June onwards, we can expect some results to be delivered. Though Jupiter is MKS, Maran Karaka, it is losing its significance. So if you were to look at learning, increasing your wisdom, you'll have to put in a lot more efforts. So this is not a situation where, fortune is something that you have to be 100% reliant on. You need to look at your free will. Take things in your own hands because third house represents your free will and your decision making capacity. And this is how you must channelize this transit. Use mantras related to Surya, offer water to Sun first thing in the morning, and use the Beej mantra for Mars throughout the month of June. This is going to be extremely beneficial for you, and I wish you the very best. Let us try and understand for Taurus ascendant signs or the Taurus moon signs, the month of June, what are certain energies and what you could expect, highs and lows, ups and downs. And from a remedial point of view, what can I suggest you? Month of June is new beginnings. There are some prominent planetary shifts that have happened. Month of June, Venus is changing signs. Mercury is going to be in three different signs throughout the month. Rahu and Ketu have recently changed signs. Jupiter has changed signs. So a lot is happening within this space. So let's begin with your ascendant lord, lord of the ascendant, and also lord of the sixth house, Venus, who has made a transit in the 12th house. So this is a good month for spiritual growth, for spiritual upliftment. Your expenses are also going to increase. So you must incur expenditure on right kind of things, on right deeds, on good things. Spend on dharma, spend on donations, how you could probably help others, support others. One thing is very good throughout the time, that your ascendant in the month of June, first half of the month, there is Surya, sun sitting in the ascendant, who's your fourth lord. And once Venus enters towards the end of May, your ascendant is in Shubh Yoga because there is Jupiter on one side, there is Venus on the other side, and first half of the month, Sun is also under Shubh Yoga, which is a very auspicious yoga. So your decision making is going to be good. You will have mental level clarity. Resources are going to be favorable for you. So anything that you start, this is a potential month for you to make some very big decisions for the entire year, where there are dependencies. And you need to channelize these energies because there is a lot of benefic influence which is there around this time. And this is where you need to make the most of it. Of course, Venus calls for greater spiritual growth, greater focus on your health and well being, and a transition or a good change in your lifestyle. This is something which you must understand. Let's talk about Mercury, because Mercury is your fifth lord, one of the most important planet. So initially, first 5 days, it will be in the ascendant. Thereafter, it is moving in your second house. So your fifth lord moving in the second house, conjoined Jupiter, who's the 11th lord, is forming a nice Dhan Yoga. So from a financial point of view, between 6th of June till 22nd of June, if you're expecting some incentive, some increment, a secondary source of income in case your Dasha Antardasha is supportive, this is a very good time. June is a financially prosperous time for Taurus ascendants because Jupiter has just moved in your second house. It's the 11th lord. It'll be conjoined Sun in the second half of the month. So there's a blend of energies that are there within your second house. So be careful of what you say, what you speak. There could be a sense of aggression or dominance. You have to stay away from ego. Try to channelize this ego. And certainly, financial position will improve. You will have to take some very important decisions pertaining to your long-term investment. Thereafter, last week, Mercury is going to be in the third house. This is where Mercury is alone. And you would focus on journaling, writing. You will do some important paperwork towards the last week of June, some contract signing, some agreements. So this is where you need to be uh, prepared yourself with. Okay. Saturn, who is your 10th lord and the ninth lord, the Yoga Karaka planet, continues to make a transit in your 11th house. Later this year, Saturn is going to go stationary. It is going to go retrograde. You will have to look back at some decisions pertaining to your career, pertaining to your job, and bring in a change. So June, July looks like the month of change when it comes to job or work related matters. Fortune continues to be favorable for you. Rahu and Ketu have activated your 10 and 4 axis. So it is about time that you need to strike a balance between your work and the personal life. See, first half of the month, there are four malefics in your quadrant houses forming a Sarpa Yoga. So it causes some restriction, but your Lagna is under Shubh Yoga. So it is helping, it is supporting. Even when Sun moves to the second house, there are three malefics in your Kendra houses, which causes Sarpa Yoga. It causes some obstruction. So there is definitely some cause of concern at home. There's a lot of fiery energies. So you will step out of your comfort zone. You would need to balance these energies. You could have some quarrels with people at home, within your family. So just take care of your temperamental issues or concern. But this time period, you can also probably start thinking of doing some decisions pertaining to your house. Declutter your home, clean it yourself, declutter your workspace. This is how you will channelize these fiery energies of Mars and Ketu, the Yuti which is made in your fourth house, and they're directly conjoined or they're directly in mutual aspect with Rahu. So this is where you need to channelize these energies. Use mantras related to Mercury. A Vishnu mantra will be very good for you. That is Om Vishnave Namah, and offer water to sun first thing in the morning for the first half of the month, particularly to channelize these resources for you. And I wish you the very best. Gemini ascendant signs or the Gemini moon sign. So what's happening in the month of June 2025? There are prominent planetary shifts. I'm going to give you the most important planetary updates. What is that you can expect? Some highs and lows, ups and downs, and how you could probably navigate through the most in terms of these energies. So firstly, let's begin with your Lagna Lord, Mercury. So Mercury in the first week of June will enter your ascendant. So this is a transit that happens within few months. And this is where Mercury is conjoined Jupiter. This happens only once in 12 years or maybe twice in 12 years because Mercury makes a fast transit. So you could expect this to happen again. Now Mercury and Jupiter forming a Yuti, which is your Lagna Lord and the 10th Lord, forming a nice yoga in your ascendant where Mercury holds a strong disposition. They will also be joined by Sun, so you must welcome Surya in your Lagna. So firstly, Jupiter gains directional strength. There are blessings of Lord Shiva. Mercury is making this transit. There are four prominent planets in your quadrant houses, and two of them are benefics. So it's a very good time for making some critical decisions, some big decisions, and your decision making is going to be pretty much favorable because there will be a rise in your confidence. And I say that whenever Sun enters your ascendant, you must worship Lord Shiva because this happens only once a year, and this is happening in mid of June. Jupiter is also entered your ascendant. So of course, your inclination towards Lord Shiva will increase. Later in the month, on 22nd of June, last week of month, Mercury is entering your second house. And this is where it is going to bring some financial development. So you could expect an increase in your finances. But you will have to put in a lot more efforts here. Because of Mars and Ketu's Yuti in your third house, this conjunction will make you step out of your comfort zone, could make you a little bit uncomfortable as well, because there will be a certain sense of uncertainty that will be looming in. But you have to continue putting efforts there, because this is what Saturn demands, who's making a transit in your 10th house. Saturn demands lots of efforts, discipline when it comes to your work. Mars is the significator of the third house, so it's a good placement. It will give you a sense of valor, sense of courage. Yes, there will be opposition, there will be competition. Now, in order to sail through this competition, you need to continue doing your duties, doing your karmas. See, Saturn has now picked up the pace, and of course, it is past the first few degrees. It will start delivering results when it comes to work-related matters, which is changing for you. And if you've recently made a change, now is the time when you will probably start feeling settled in or settled down. Rahu and Ketu have activated your 9 and 3 axis. So it's a good time to initiate some higher education, higher learning, spiritual knowledge, make travel plans, long distance journeys, spiritual journeys. And this is something or somewhere where you can make the most of this time. Now, another important planetary update is Venus. Venus is the only Yoga Karaka planet for you, or the most favorable planet. It is your fifth lord and it is the 12th lord. And now it is going to be making a transit in your 11th house throughout the month. Till the end of June, it is making a transit in the 11th house. So Venus is in the 11th house, Mercury later will move in your second house, and Jupiter is in your first house. So these three benefics, natural benefics, are making good transits from a financial point of view. So this is the time for you to look at secondary source of income or probably reach a state of financial independence. Your remedy will come from Venus because Venus rules mantras. So read Shri Suktam on a daily basis because Venus is connected to your 5 and 11 axis. Or use a simple Lakshmi mantra, that is Om Lakshmai Nama, in order to channelize these energies. See, first half of June is going to be typically challenging because Venus is under Pap Yoga. There is Sun in your 12th house, there is Saturn in the 10th house, two natural malefics, and Venus is hem between malefics. Second half, I expect things to get better for you. Jupiter is making a transit in your ascendant, so you have to be very careful of what you eat, what you consume. At the same time, Venus is making a transit in the 11th. Avoid indulgence, avoid extravagance. Mostly eat home cooked food. This could cause some sort of digestive issues. So you have to take care of your stomach. You have to take care of your digestion, take care of your gut. Um, Keep yourself hydrated, particularly the second half of the month when sun enters your ascendant. So you have to drink enough liquids. This will help you balance these fiery energies that are happening in your ascendant. But this is a good time where you will see some resources picking up. So mid-June to mid-July is quite a breakthrough time for you in terms of having some gains and remedy and look up to Venus in terms of strengthening it and channelizing it. Cancer ascendant signs or the Cancer moon signs. So, what is happening in June? I'm going to give you the most important planetary updates, some highs and lows, big shifts that are happening, what you can expect, how you can make the most of it, and if there are certain remedies, I'm going to recommend those remedies as well. So, one planet that you must, remedy because there are a lot of energies in your 12th house and second house throughout the month of June. With second house have a Mars and Ketu Yuti. On 15th of June, Sun will enter your 12th house. So second half of the month, your ascendant is under Pap Yoga, which means it is hem between these two natural malefics. So your decision making in the first half will be good. Second half, it could be a little bit challenging. You might have some communication conflicts and issues as well after 22nd of June. Last week of June, you have to be careful of dealing with your friends and getting into any conversations. You could have some heated arguments. So this is where you need to be low key. You need to probably stay grounded, all through the time. This is the clear message. You must remedy moon. Use a Lord Krishna's mantra or read Bhagavad Gita in order to channelize this moon. Make use of meditation in order to strengthen this moon. This is a very clear message because it needs a lot of strength. That is your Lagna Lord. Now let's talk about Jupiter. Jupiter is your ninth Lord, and Jupiter has already entered Gemini mid of May, and that is in your 12th house. So Jupiter has been making a transit in the 11th house. Now it has entered Mercury's sign in Gemini. Second half, Jupiter will be conjoined Sun, forming a royal yoga, but this is happening in the 12th house. I do not expect, great results, but yes, this time period, you could put some travel plans in place. You will naturally do a lot of dharmic activities. You will be very particular about your religion. You must offer donations. You must look at donating green items, green pulses, green leafy vegetables. Uh, these are some of the things that you should donate. You should also look at, putting some new plants at home, planting trees. That is very good for you from a karmic standpoint because Mercury is also entering your 12th house. So you must look at this from a remedial point of view. It's a nice remedy for you. Jupiter gradually is going to increase your spiritual quotient, but this is a very good time for you to fix your lifestyle, your routine, things that you do on a day-to-day basis, putting your health priorities back on track. This is something which this time period is doing, and particularly the first half of the month is quite favorable for you to make such decisions. Mars, who is your fifth lord and the 10th lord, the Yoga Karaka or the most favorable planet, has now entered your second house. And here Mars will be conjoined with Ketu. Ketu is also the co-fifth lord. So both your fifth lords are making a fiery transit in the second house. So it's a nice Dhan Yoga that is there in transit. You could expect an improvement in your financial position, in your financial stand, and also making some key decisions pertaining to your investment. But do not make these decisions out of aggression. You will have aggressive energies. You have to channelize those energies. Meditate, drink lots of water, keep yourself hydrated to channelize these fiery planets and the fiery energies that are happening in your second house. Avoid confrontation, avoid heated arguments. this could be detrimental towards your relationship because see, Saturn's transit in the ninth house is already bringing some relationship karma. This is just seventh lord making a transit, third from the seventh house. So momentarily, June and July is a difficult month for relationship. Particularly last week when Mercury will enter your ascendant, will make a transit with your seventh house, is again going to cause some friction. So this is where you have to stay low key. Try and stay humble, grounded. Financially, it is very good. Work is going to prosper. Venus sitting here is going to help you build some meaningful, long lasting relationship, particularly in the second half. First half of the month, work scenario is a little bit challenging. So, first half, you can have quarrels, argument with people at workplace. Second half, you could have quarrels, argument with people at home or in your family. So, throughout the month, you have to stay away from all these conversations. Whenever you feel the heat of the moment, try to read something, try to divert your mind into something or the other. Have some spiritual discipline or practice. Worship Lord Hanuman to channelize these energies. This is how you'll be able to fix any cause or concern that is related to Mars, that is related to Mangal, in order to improve your spiritual discipline and practice as well. Leo ascendant signs or the Leo moon signs. So I'm going to give you the transit report for the month of June, where we will focus on the important transits, what are some of the energies, highs and lows, ups and downs, what you can expect, and how you could probably make the most of this month. So let us begin with your ascendant Lord Sun as the most important transit. First half of the month, Sun continues to make a transit in your 10th house, where Sun gains directional strength or is Digbali. So the first half of the month is very important, very crucial for work-related decisions or work-related matters. Your actions, your duties, your responsibilities, your job, your business. This house, which is your 10th house, is also under Shubh Yoga because Venus has made a transit in your ninth house. Jupiter has made a transit in your 11th house. So the sun and your 10th house are hemmed between two benefic planets. Mercury is also going to be making a transit in Gemini. So there's a lot of benefic influence which is there. So any important decisions pertaining to your career, pertaining to your work, new job, new opportunities, first half of the month is quite a favorable time. You will have support from leaders, you will have support from authority. Any paperwork pertaining to government or government matters is going to move forward. If there has been any delay, that is going to fix. You must look up to Surya. You must offer water or arghya to sun first thing in the morning to channelize these energies. Rise early, rise around sunrise time or a little bit before as well if you can. But yes, this is how you will probably respect the sun and bring in a sense of consistency because that is what it demands from you. Now, let's also talk about another important transit, which is the transit of Mars. Mars is your fourth lord and the ninth lord, a yoga karaka or a favorable planet for you. And Mars has entered your ascendant. So please welcome Mangal Dev in your ascendant. So it is forming a couple of yogas. So firstly, ninth lord in the ascendant, fourth lord in the ascendant, along with Ketu, who's also the co-fourth lord in the ascendant. Momentarily, June and July is a time period to expand your interaction and bring in a sense of energy in your life. Mars holds a stronger disposition compared to Ketu. So it will avoid any isolative tendency. So it will probably help you bring in a lot of energy. There will be overflow of energy over the next few weeks. And this is something which you have to channelize. You will have aggressive tendencies, but you need to use that maybe in exercising. In your work, in doing some daily tasks, daily duties. Try to go out there in the open, connect with people, network with people, build your brand, create your identity, and focus a lot on your immunity building. So you will, build a lot of discipline over the course of next few weeks. And this is a good change in terms of your lifestyle. And this is something which Saturn also demands, making a transit in the eighth house, a lifestyle change. Ketu and Rahu have activated your seventh and one axis, where Rahu gains directional strength in the seventh house. Very good for partnerships, relationship, bringing a sense of stability. But Ketu is opposite energies. It wants you to take a spiritual path. And this is somewhere you need to strike a balance between your partner, your spouse, and yourself, and how you could probably have a mutual sense of respect. Sun is going to enter your 11th house, along with Jupiter, forming a nice royal yoga second half of the month, which is good for financial progress. Briefly, they will be conjoined Mercury as well, who is the 11th Lord and the second Lord. So you could expect some gain of finances or an improvement in your financial position, rise in your income in case your Dasha Antardasha is supportive. This is a period that you have to look up to. Venus has entered your ninth house. Though fortune will be a little bit challenging in the first half of the month because Venus and your ninth house is hemmed between these two malefics, causing a Pap Yoga. So there is some relationship karma that you have that you'll have to deal with. Manage your ego, keep your ego aside and stay humble, stay grounded. You must use mantras related to Jupiter. You must strengthen Jupiter, who's sitting in the 11th house, because it holds a weak disposition compared to Mercury. Use a simple Shiva mantra, that is Om Namo Bhagavate Sadashivaya, or use a Shiva Panchakshari mantra, that is Namah Shivaya, in order to make the most of this time. And I wish you the very best. Virgo ascendant signs or the Virgo moon signs. What is happening in the month of June? I'm going to give you the most important planetary updates in terms of what you can expect, some highs and lows, ups and downs, and where you can make the most of this time. Let's begin with your Lord of Ascendant, who's Mercury, because his transit matters quite a lot for you, regardless of the kind of time period that you're running. First 5 days of the month, Mercury continues to be in your ninth house along with Sun. Though there will be a significant difference in terms of degrees, Mercury is finally moving out of combustion, and then it will enter your 10th house in its own sign of Gemini. So this is where Mercury is said to be the Karaka or the significator of this house. Later, Sun will also enter this 10th house where it gains directional strength or is Digbali. So between 15th of June till 22nd of June is a very important time period for you to make some important work-related decisions or business-related decisions. Mark these dates because the energies are quite favorable. Sun and Mercury are forming a Buddha Tattva Yoga. They are blessings of Lord Shiva. There is support of seniors, of authority, of government. Jupiter is also in your 10th house. Jupiter is also one of the significator of the 10th house because he governs all the knowledge at work. Mercury governs business at work. Sun governs leadership at work. And Jupiter is your 7th house. So your spouse is going to be very supportive when it comes to work-related decisions. So make sure that you involve your partner, your spouse, in taking any major decisions that is pertaining to your work. So this is where you need to maximize your potential and time period. Last week, 22nd of June, Mercury will enter your 11th house. So it is again a nice transit because it is probably giving you a self-identity to work on your finances. But Mercury will be under Papa Yoga. It will be hemmed between these natural malefics here, Mars and Sun, Ketu and Sun. So your decision making could be quite weak in the last week of June. So this is where you have to maybe stay low key or avoid any decisions that could be detrimental to your well-being because Mercury easily gets influenced. So you are susceptible to bad influence in the last week of June. And this is where you have to be careful. The other important transit, of course, is the transit of Saturn, who continues to gain momentum in the 7th house. This is where Saturn gains directional strength. So when Sun and Saturn both gain directional strength, your pillars are strong. See, one is the king, the other is kingmaker. So the power of labor and the power of authority is pretty strong in the second half of the month, particularly between 15th of June till 22nd, 23rd of June is a very good time to make some important decisions. Saturn continues to influence and encourage you to bring in a sense of discipline in your life, strengthen your relationship, bring in a sense of stability there. And this is something which should continue all through the time. Now, Venus, who is your ninth lord and the second lord, very important role it plays in finances, has entered your eighth house. And throughout the time, Venus will be in transit in the eighth house. First half of the month, your eighth house and Venus is under certain affliction because there is Saturn on one side, there is Sun on the other side. So you have to be slightly careful of any minor health issues or any persistent health issues or past health issues that could crop up again. So just take care of yourself first half of the month. Otherwise, things will get better Venus does well in the eighth house because it attained the knowledge of Mrit Sanjeevani by the blessings of Lord Shiva, and it's a natural and a functional benefit in your case. So it is bringing in positive transformation. Later, it is going to protect you from any unforeseen sudden events in life. You could start learning about astrology, Jyotish, or any subjects that has hidden knowledge, that have a hidden message or meaning, and this is how you will channelize your energies. Anything that you hide. So this time period could make you secretive, but if it is in the best interest of yourself, you can. Otherwise, this could be detrimental for your success. Second half, you can make some important financial decisions, some long-term financial decisions. Fortune will favor you more in July. Your 6-12 axis has Rahu, Mars, and Ketu. A lot of fiery energies in your 12th house. So please work on your sleep. You could have disruption in your sleep. So make sure that you get good 8 hours of sleep so that you stay energized all through the day. Have a nice morning routine. First, that is the only remedy that I can recommend you. No mantras are going to work, nothing else is going to work till you have a morning routine, which is 30 to 45 minutes of some practice, some meditation, yoga, sadhana, or just sit idle, in a silent state. And this is something which is going to help you channelize these energies. Libra ascendant signs or the Libra moon signs. Let's take a look at the monthly transit report of June. Some highs and lows, ups and downs. What are some of the energies? How you can make the most of the month of June. And of course, what you can expect and what could be certain remedies for you as well. So let's begin with Lord of your ascendant, Venus, who is making a transit in your seventh house. Venus is said to be the Karaka or the significator of the seventh house. Venus also becomes your eighth lord making a transit in the seventh house, which also indicates that your partner will go through some transformation, some change. It's good. It's good from a relationship point of view, but first half of the month, there could be some issues with your partner's health, with your spouse's health in case you're married. So take care of it. See, Venus for the first half and your seventh house is him between two of these natural malefics, Saturn and Sun. So your decision making in the first half is going to be weak. Second half is going to be strong. You're going to be a transformed person. When Sun moves to your ninth house, wait for that time to happen. And then you can probably look at making some important decisions in your life because your self-confidence will be on a higher side. For those people who are looking forward to having a new relationship or establishing themselves with a new partner, second half looks better. First half, you could have quarrels, you could have arguments, there could be some coldness and issues that are there. Avoid overindulgence or extravagance, particularly in the first half, because it could cause some health related issues. Particularly, you must avoid any cold food items. Whatever you eat, it needs to be well cooked. When Saturn is making a transit in your sixth house, see, remember, Saturn is a very cold planet, and this house represents your digestion. So, any cold things will probably cause a discomfort and bring in some health issues. Otherwise, Saturn does well in the sixth house. It will help you overcome enemies. This is your fifth lord and the fourth lord, and a friendly planet to your loving lord, Venus. It will help you overcome enemies. Saturn is also promoting new opportunities, new job, some sort of progress in your daily routine. This is something which you must understand. Another important transit for you is the transit of Mercury. Mercury in the first week is going to be moving in your ninth house, where it will be conjoined Jupiter. Jupiter is your third and the sixth lord. Though Jupiter's placement is good because it is the significator of the ninth house, but it is not the most ideal planet for you. Mercury holds a greater strength during this time. And Sun is also entering your ninth house. Sun is also the significator. So, two significators along with the ascendant lord. Fortune is favorable. Second half of the month, fortune is favorable. There could be some travel opportunities that come your way. You could pick up a course, you could learn something that is related to your work, which could help you excel, which could help you prosper. Because even in the last week, Mercury is going to come in your 10th house, and Mercury is the significator or the Karaka of the 10th house. So it's a very important time for you to make some important work related decisions, right? Welcome Sun and Jupiter in your ninth house. They're forming a royal yoga, royal lineage. You can get support from authority. You can get support from the government, from your seniors. Fortune is being favorable. You must look at remedying Mercury, who's your ninth lord. So use a Vishnu mantra, that is Om Namo Narayana, in order to channelize these energies to the optimum potential. This is something which you must do. Your 511 axis has some complex energies because there is Mars and Ketu's Yuti in your 11th house, which is quite fiery, and then a mutual aspect with Rahu. So though Rahu and Ketu's transit has just happened, just begun, 511 axis is quite active. So this could create or bring in a sense of ego battles with others, some conflict with friends. So this is where you have to be careful. This is where you have to be careful for the next few weeks, that you need to avoid any quarrels, any argument, or any sort of conflict situation with your friends. Try and keep your ego aside. Try and stay grounded. Practice humility. Practice any sort of spiritual practice that will help you stay grounded. This is the kind of path you need to follow. Channelize these aggressive energies appropriately. Otherwise, it could be detrimental towards your relationship when it comes to dealing with other people. And second half onwards, your sense of interaction is going to gradually improve, and you could look at certain progressive times. Scorpio ascendant signs or the Scorpio moon signs. What is happening in the month of June? I'm going to give you some most important planetary updates, energy shifts, some highs and lows, ups and downs, and how you can make the most of the month of June. Let us talk about some important planetary updates. Starting with your Lagna Lord, Lord of the Ascendant, that is Mars. Mars has entered your 10th house. This is where Mars gains directional strength. Mars is also your 6th Lord. So your Lagna Lord and the 6th Lord making a transit in the 10th house is leading you to bring some changes in your workplace. You will be very energetic at your workplace. You will have an overflow of energy. And this is something which you need to channelize. See, Ketu is also there in the 10th house. Ketu also gains direction strength in the 10th house. So this is quite a breakthrough time period for you. Next few weeks, you can look at some improvement in your work, but you need to understand that there is Rahu, Sun, Mars, and Ketu most of the time in the month of June in your quadrant houses, which is causing a certain sense of obstruction. We call it Sarpa Yoga. So it is probably, it's like a coil, right? Which is obstructing. And of course, it is not letting you take independent, free decisions. So you have to take decisions under some guidance, under a guidance of a mentor, a coach, or some sort of counseling, or someone who you trust, someone who you count on. This is what you need to channelize. Declutter your workspace, also declutter your home. See, Rahu and Ketu's transit has just begun, so it is time for you to step out of your comfort zone and be like a warrior at work. Good time to apply for new opportunities, to look at a change if you're trying to bring in terms of your career. But yes, it's quite heated, and this is where you need to channelize these energies. At work, please ensure that you keep yourself hydrated. Drink enough water to manage the sense of these fiery energies. One thing Mars and Ketu in the 10th house will do is it's going to make you very much passionate. There's a lot of passion that's coming in, especially Venus making a transit in your 6th house. Of course, Venus gains Manan Karaka position in the 6th house. Jupiter's making a transit in your 8th house. Your 7th house is under protection of Shubha Yoga. So there will be a greater sense of passion. And this month is quite nice for financial gains, for financial prosperity, because your 6th, 7th, 8th houses have mostly benefics. And this is a nice yoga which they're forming. So you could expect some financial gains or probably beginning of some finances coming in your life. Sun, let's talk about Surya, who's your 10th lord. Initially, for the first 15 days, making a transit in your 7th house. Later, Sun will move in your 8th house on 15th of June, and it will be conjoined Jupiter and Mercury. So transformation is inevitable. Second half of the month, a lot of transformation is happening, but this time period is keeping you protected, is keeping you nice. It is probably averting you from any suddenness in life. So, of course, there could be some setbacks related to work, related to job, second half of the month, but gradually things are going to improve if you continue trying for it, if you leverage and channelize your energy in the most appropriate manner. This is something which you must remember. See, Sun, Jupiter are forming a yoga, Jupiter, Mercury, Sun, Mercury, all of them are forming a yoga. You need to learn something which is related to research. So, if you were to develop yourself, you need to do some research. You need to keep yourself up to date with what are some of the best trends that are happening. This is something which Saturn also demands at the long run for you to keep yourself up to date with the things and events that are happening. Rahu and Ketu activating your 4 and 10 axis in terms of work, how you can upskill yourself, how you can continue to be in sync with the emerging trends. This is something which you must channelize. Jupiter, who's your fifth lord, has already made a transit in the eighth house in Gemini. Of course, this is bringing transformation for future, but this is also increasing your research capability. Okay, this is very good for your children. So your children are going to progress in case because this represents happiness from your children. In case you're looking forward to probably having a childbirth or some progress, growth related to your kids, your children, this could be good for you. Initially, there will be some sort of uncertainty that you will see, but suddenly something nice will happen, something unexpected will happen that is pertaining to your children in case you have children. So this is also one time period that you could look up to. Remedy Jupiter. Use mantras related to Jupiter. A simple Panchakshari mantra could be very good for you. That is Namah Shivaya. Look up to him and he will protect you. Sagittarius ascendant signs or the Sagittarius moon signs. What is happening in the month of June for you? I'm going to give you some most important planetary updates, the energies for the month of June, what you can expect, some highs and lows. Keep it very simple for you. The month of June is like new beginnings because there are multiple planetary shifts that have already happened and how we can leverage from these energies. So, firstly, let us begin talking about your ascendant lord and the 12th lord Jupiter, who has already made a transit in your seventh house. Seventh house for Jupiter is a bit weak placement because it gains directional strength here. And this house, it loses direction. So you need a sense of direction now in life. Okay, you need to put in more efforts in anything that you do. So in order to channelize these energies, Jupiter is also your fourth lord. Step out of your comfort zone. This is a very good time for any relationship related things or issues, particularly the second half of the month. So because there are mixed energies here. So see, all these three planets, Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, they're not considered very good in the seventh house. So second half of the month, there is definitely a relationship karma, relationship conflict, some sort of isolation, some sort of argument that you will have with your spouse. So depending on your dasha, antadasha, you could probably further assess. But yes, try and stay low key and avoid any such issues. Otherwise, it could be detrimental. So it needs increased efforts here, right, in order to channelize and sail through these energies. Mars's transit is very important for you. See, because Mars is your fifth lord, one of the most important planet, and is making a transit in your ninth house in the sign of Sun, in fiery sign of Leo, along with Ketu. So Mars and Ketu are forming a yoga. Though I don't expect a lot of turbulence in June because they are far apart in terms of degrees. But there are a lot of fiery energies. Fortune is going to be favorable for you. I expect a good flow of energy. You must make some travel plans because your 3-9 axis is active by the virtue of Rahu and Ketu's transit. And now when Mars has entered, so it is bringing in journeys. It is going to bring in some friction with your superiors, with people who hold authority. But you're going to overcome that because your ninth lord is making a transit in the sixth house in the first half of the month. The first half of the month is good for making important decisions. It's good to overcome any authority issues, any paperwork support that you need, any government documents that you have. The first half of the month is pretty good from a transit point of view, depending on your ongoing dasha and dasha. All right. This is something which you must understand and try to navigate your energies because your sixth house, Sun, your ninth lord is under Shubh Yoga. So, first half, fortune favors any plans that you make, and of course, important decisions. Resources are favorable for you. Sun is initiation. Anything new that you were to start, you could probably lay a stepping stone during this time, right? One thing that Mars and Ketu can do in the ninth house is can make you overtly optimistic about the future. So it could bring in a sense of complacency because you will be in a dominant position. And this is something which you must avoid, because if you become complacent, because Saturn's asking you to push out of your comfort zone, to step out of your comfort zone and avoid any complacency, avoid lethargic energies. You could be lethargic, particularly in the second half of the month. So must avoid that. Stay active all through the time. Write. Your 3-9 axis is active to channelize the energies of Rahu. You must journal. You must write. Pen your thoughts down. See, Venus has made a transit in the fifth house, which I consider mostly good. It is forming a nice Dhan Yoga. So you could have an increase in your income, incentive, recognition by the virtue of this Venus transit in case your Dasha and the Dasha is supportive, because your trines are pretty strong during this time. And there are 4 planets in your Kendra house. So the fundamentals are going to be pretty strong. The energies are very heavy, right? This is what you need to channelize. Since Venus is making a transit in the fifth house, Mars in the ninth house, worship Lord Hanuman. Look up to him. Use the Bij mantra of Mars or a mantra related to Lord Narsimha. That will be very beneficial for you in order to channelize these energies and try and keep your ego aside all through the time. Capricorn ascendant signs or the Capricorn moon signs. What is happening in the month of June? I'm going to give you the most important planetary updates, transits, highs and lows from an energy point of view. What is that you can expect and how you can make the most of this month of June. June month is the month of new beginnings because there are heavy energies, there are great planetary shifts that have happened and that continue to happen, around this time. Saturn, who is your Lagna Lord, Lord of the Ascendant, has now entered your third house already, and it continues to pick up the momentum, gain the pace, and of course, gradually it will also go stationary later and then retrograde later in this year. So, this is quite an important time period for you. See, Saturn, what will happen is that it calls for you to have a guru or a mentor. So, once you have a guru during this phase, things will get better for you. Things will start moving. You constantly need some sort of guidance, some sort of advice, which is quite good, which is quite inevitable for you. This is how you will channelize the energies. Efforts will bring results. So you might have had some troubled past. Now you will see growth opportunities and efforts giving you prominent results. This is the message of Saturn. Do not shy away, from doing your karmas, and also focus on your free will. Don't leave everything on destiny. Focus on free will. Go on journeys, go on spiritual travel, spiritual retreat. That will be good for you. But yes, you do need a sense of guidance or direction throughout the time for you to make some of the best decisions. Rahu and Ketu have changed signs and now have activated your 2 and 8 axis, which is a little tricky axis. Mars has also entered your 8th house. So month of June calls for greater spiritual practices. Because see, your 7th house is protected. Okay, that is not a problem. But the 8th house has some fiery energies. So it could bring in a sense of suddenness. Now, both Ketu and Mars are the co-ruler of the 11th house. So you could have some uncertainty related to your finances, related to your ability of gains. There could be some conflict related to friends. Mars also rules your 4th house. Your mother's health needs some focus, particularly the first half of the month. Second half, it's going to get better. Okay, Venus is still protecting. But Ketu and Mars can really cause a difficult transformation. So be change ready, right? Be prepared for such situation. Try and keep yourself hydrated all through the time. If you want to avoid any persistent health issues, any issues with your digestive system, with your gut, that is also quite susceptible in the month of June. So this is where you have to take care of your things. Have a nice morning routine. Morning meditation, yoga, sadhana, pranayam will be very helpful for you to fix your lifestyle, because this calls for a lifestyle change. This is something which you must look up to. See, Venus, who is your 10th lord and the 5th lord, Yoga Karaka planet for you, one of the most important planet for you, is making a very good transit in the 4th house. This is where Venus gains directional strength or is Digbali in the 4th house. It is though in the fiery sign of Aries. First half could be difficult because Venus and your 4th house is hemmed between Sun and Saturn, causing a Pap Yoga. So you will be in an uncomfortable position. Second half of the month is very good in order to re-establish yourself, gain self-confidence, and for you to make some important decisions pertaining to your home, pertaining to your life. This is what you could expect. Look up to Venus, remedy Venus, read Sri Suktam on a daily basis, use a simple Lakshmi mantra, that is Om Lakshmi Nama, and do not forget to worship Lord Ganesha before you use the Lakshmi mantra. This Venus is going to improve your interaction with other people, is going to improve your work related scenario in the second half of the month. This is where you can expect some progress. Jupiter, Sun, and Mercury are forming a yoga in your sixth house. Mercury is pretty strong here. It will help you overcome enemies. Sun also does well in the sixth house. And this is a good time between 15th of June till 22nd, 23rd of June is a very good time to learn something new, to build your IQ, your intelligence, and for you to overcome enemies, any opposition over the course of next few weeks. This is how you will channelize these energies, and I wish you the very best. Aquarius ascendant signs or the Aquarius moon signs. Month of June. What can we expect from an astrological point of view? Some highs and lows, ups and downs, the energies for the month of June. What are some of the remedies and how you can make the most of this month is what I'm going to be discussing in this video. So firstly, let's begin with your Lagna Lord Saturn, who's already making a transit in the second house, forming a nice Dhan Yoga. Saturn has gained momentum. Now Rahu has also entered your ascendant. So we have to look at both these transits together. Rahu and Ketu's transit is activating your 1-7 axis. Okay. And this month, Mars is also in your seventh house, where it gains Maran Karak position. So I am not very worried of any ill effects related to this Mars. Your partner or spouse can go out of the way to help you, support you. So make sure that you probably look up to each other. Rahu that has entered your ascendant is going to create expansive tendencies. So co-Lagna Lord in the ascendant is going to give you more self-confidence, but it can bring illusion as well. It could bring confusion as well. And this is where you need to strengthen your Saturn. You need to bring in a sense of discipline in your life. There is no space for lethargy. Month of June is an important month for you to fix your lifestyle, to fix your daily routine, to things that you do on a day-to-day basis in order to make the most of your near future situation. Otherwise, you will probably get stuck in a situation which could be detrimental towards your well-being. So please put your acts together here. Venus is making an important transit for you. Venus is your ninth lord and the fourth lord. It's a Yoga Karaka planet for you, and its transit holds greater importance. It is making a transit in your third house. In the third house, Venus has a high sense of desire, and especially sitting in the fiery sign of Aries. So you need to channelize these desires. See, first half of the month, your third house and Venus both are in Papa Yoga. So any efforts that you put, you will not see the results. There is some conflict, relationship issues as well. That could be there in the first half of the month. Second half is very good. You must journal. You must put your energies in writing. Write about gratitude, things that you're grateful for, things that you're thankful for. This is you'll channelize the energies of Venus. You need to strengthen Venus. You need to use mantras related to Venus, and any remedies that you will do will be associated to Venus. If you have an auspicious work or something important or an important meeting, let's say an interview or something that you're about to start, you should consume a spoon of yogurt or have something sour, maybe mix lemon and water and consume that. And start doing that first thing in the morning to channelize the energies of Venus for you. This is quite important. Second half, your decision making will be much better. Sun is making a transit in your fourth house in the first half of the month. Later, 15th of June, Sun is going to enter your fifth house, forming a yoga with Jupiter. This is forming a royal lineage. Jupiter is the significator of the fifth house. It is going to be giving you more confidence. Jupiter is in a mutual aspect with your co-Lagna Lord Rahu. So this time period will boost self-confidence. It's a good time for education pursuits. It's a good time for your children's progress. There is some sense of recognition if you have a child. In case you don't, you can probably think of having a child. This time period is pretty much activated for you because your fifth house Lord is making a transit in the fifth house itself, is very strongly disposed. Sun and Mercury are forming a Buddha Yoga between 15th of June till 22nd, 23rd of June. This is where you can probably look at taking some course, going for further education. Jupiter will bring in continuity in this education, will help you excel, will help you prosper. This is the kind of message which this transit is giving. Last week of the month, Mercury is entering your second house, your sixth house. It is not considered, again, not the most auspicious position, but Mercury naturally gets exalted in the sixth house. This time period will help you overcome any opposition, overcome any enemies. Last week of June, first week of July is quite a good time period for you to overcome any sense of opposition that you might be facing previously. Remedy Mercury. Use mantras related to Mercury or Venus. These are the two planets that you have to look up to in order to channelize the most of this time. Once again, bring in a sense of discipline, consistency in your life. Have a nice routine. Go for some education, some sort of learning. Even if it is taking a course or going for a professional qualification, this could be quite good for you. Pisces ascendant signs or the Pisces moon signs. So, what is happening the month of June for Pisces? I'm going to give you the most important planetary updates, some highs and lows, prominent shifts, what you can expect, what are some of the remedies that you must have in the month of June, and how you can make the most of these energies. So, let us begin with your Lagna Lord, Lord of the Ascendant, Jupiter, who is also your 10th Lord, who has already made a transit in your fourth house. So, ascendant lord and 10th lord making a transit in the fourth house is a yoga in transit. And this Jupiter will be conjoined Sun, second half of June, and with Mercury, a three planetary conjunction, and four planets being in your quadrant houses. So, this month is quite important for you because your decision making is going to be pretty strong because your Lagna Lord gradually is gaining strength. You want to bring in a sense of comfort, safety, security at your workplace. This is the time to bring in a sense of stability at your home and also in your job, in your business, what you do. You must declutter your home. There's a three planetary conjunction in your fourth house, which calls for some decluttering because there are complex energies. See, Jupiter and Sun form a royal lineage, royal yoga, that is pretty much active in the second half of June. Now, this is a time which will help you not only overcome any opposition, overcome any enemies, because Sun is your sixth lord and Mars is making a transit in your sixth house, but this will also bring in a greater sense of growth. Now, with growth, with progress comes ego, and you have to take care of your ego. You have to channelize your ego. See, remember, whatever you're going to get, you're going to get with certain delay. This is the message of Saturn in your Lagna, in your ascendant, Shani Shani. There will be a certain sense of delay, but you will get what you want, perhaps only when Saturn wants it. Mercury is making a strong transit in the fourth house, but Mercury is not considered to be a very auspicious placement in the fourth house. So there is a certain sense of obstacle. So you must look at strengthening your Jupiter here in order to minimize obstacles. Do a Ganpati remedy. A simple prayer to Ganesha or Ganpati will be very good for you to minimize obstacles. Get a Ganpati yantra and worship it every day through the month. This will help you minimize any of these obstacles. Jupiter's transit is quite progressive. You can have opportunities to look at some real estate transactions and build assets as well. And most importantly, do the kind of work that gives you satisfaction, which is a soul level satisfaction, mental satisfaction. Mars, who's your ninth lord and also the second lord, very important for finances, is going to be making a transit in your sixth house along with Ketu. Ketu is also your co-ninth lord. So both these planets making a transit here. So one thing is sure that June, July, you will overcome your enemies. You will defeat any opposition. If you're sitting for any competitive examinations, it's a favorable time period for you. But you could have some health issues related to your stomach, related to your digestion. Make sure that you keep yourself hydrated because there's a lot of fiery energies. There is a tattva level imbalance that is happening by the virtue of transit. So otherwise, it could be detrimental to your health and well-being. See, Rahu and Ketu are anyway activating your 12th and 6th axis. This is your 12th house, this is your 6th house. There's a lot of fiery energies here. So this time period calls for you to have a nice morning routine and bring in a sense of routine in your life. This is where your energies needs to be invested. First 40 to 45 minutes a day, you have to be absolutely energetic, do some sort of exercise, workout, or go out for a walk or a run, do yoga. Anything that you do must involve some energies. This is a very clear message. See, Sun's placement in the fourth house is not very good in the second half because this is where Sun loses direction. This is where it gains direction. So resources could be a little bit challenging. It could take you more efforts. You will probably step out of your comfort zone, but look up to Jupiter in order to maximize, in order to make the most of it. And most importantly, remedy your moon, who is your fifth lord, because your fifth house in the second half is going to be under Pap Yoga because there's Mars and Ketu on one side, and then there is Sun on the other side, two natural malefics. So your future planning would be a bit disturbed. You might have some communication issues, some ego issues. So in order to avoid that, you must look at remedy moon. Use the beach mantra of moon or worship Lord Krishna in order to channelize and strengthen this moon. This is your mind and will help you make some good decisions and avoid unnecessary argument on unnecessary confrontation where your communication is involved. Try to keep your ego aside. Let this month pass for any of these matters. Otherwise, it is quite a progressive month for you. So friends, this was my monthly transit report for the month of June. I hope you like this video. Please share it with your friends and stay tuned for more interesting videos on Vedic astrology and transits. Thank you very much. God bless you all.